5. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue that is sending emotional shockwaves through Port Charles, the fallout from Willow's cancelled wedding to Drew, the dark secret that is now being uncovered, and the deepening rift that is tearing once close relationships completely apart. This story involves Drew Kane, Willow Tate, Carly Spencer, Michael Corinthos, Sasha Gilmore, and the children caught in the center of a battle that no one saw coming. Let's break it all down, because what's happening now will change the future of several families forever. It all started when Willow abruptly canceled her wedding to Drew Kane in front of all their guests during the ceremony. The moment was explosive. The venue was decorated, the guests were seated, the vows were about to begin, and then Willow dropped the bomb. She announced that she could no longer go through with the wedding, exposing her disgust over Drew's past betrayal, particularly the revelation that Drew had slept with Nina, Willow's estranged biological mother. The public embarrassment was too much for Drew to process. He was furious, humiliated, and deeply ashamed. He stood in front of his peers, former friends, and even Quartermain family members like Tracy, who did not hold back in using the opportunity to publicly ridicule him. Tracy made a point to label Drew a failure, mocking him for being left at the altar. This didn't just wound Drew's pride, it lit a fire in him. And now that fire is spreading. Drew didn't just feel betrayed, he felt exposed. He believed Willow had been selfish, that she had prioritized her feelings in the moment and humiliated him without even giving him a chance to explain or to protect what they had built. Instead of handling things privately, Willow chose a public stage, and to Drew, that was unforgivable. But his anger didn't stop at the wedding. In the days following the failed ceremony, Drew uncovered a deeper, darker truth that gave him even more reason to resent Willow and to take action. He found out that Willow had secretly been watching Daisy, the daughter of Sasha Gilmore, without Sasha's knowledge or consent. The surveillance wasn't casual or coincidental. Willow had taken deliberate steps to follow and observe Daisy, allegedly under the guise of checking in or trying to help. But to Sasha, it was a gross invasion of privacy, especially considering her own fragile mental health history. Sasha, once one of Willow's closest allies, was left feeling unsafe and emotionally violated. The emotional toll of Willow's behavior was so great that Sasha made the decision to leave Port Charles altogether, choosing peace over further trauma. Drew, already seething from the wedding disaster, viewed Willow's actions toward Daisy as the final proof that she wasn't the woman she pretended to be. To him, she was no longer the gentle, caring soul she projected to the world. Instead, he now saw her as manipulative, deceitful, and dangerous, particularly when it came to children. And this set off a chain of events that now threatens to sever Willow's ties to Michael, Carly, and most importantly, her children. Desperate for any emotional lifeline, Willow reached out to Michael and Carly, asking for permission to see Wiley and Amelia. She insisted she had changed, that she had suffered enough, and that she simply wanted to spend time with her children again. Willow acknowledged her mistakes but pleaded for a chance to rebuild her role as a mother. Michael hesitated. Carly stayed silent. But Drew didn't. Fueled by anger and protective instinct, Drew went straight to Carly. He told her everything, not just about the wedding, but about Willow's secret stalking of Daisy, the role she played in driving Sasha out of town, and the lies she told to cover her tracks. At first, Carly didn't want to believe it. She had once stood by Willow, had defended her during her cancer battle, had even trusted her judgment when it came to Michael. But as Drew laid out the evidence, Carly's face changed. It wasn't just shock, it was betrayal. Carly had believed Willow was one of the few people in their circle who didn't manipulate, who didn't hide things, who didn't play games. But now she saw that Willow had simply worn her kindness like a mask, hiding a darker, more selfish personality beneath. For Carly, there was no going back. She thanked Drew for telling her the truth and immediately went to Michael. The two met privately away from the mansion, and Carly told Michael everything. She explained how Willow had followed Daisy without permission, how her behavior had sent Sasha away, and how Drew had warned her about Willow's increasingly unstable choices. She reminded Michael that while they had forgiven Willow in the past, this was different. It involved children, deception, and emotional harm to others. Michael listened carefully. He remembered the pain he went through during his divorce from Willow, the lies she had told, and the betrayal he felt when she walked away from their family for Drew. He had tried to forgive. He had allowed visits. He had even kept his anger private out of respect for the kids. But now everything had changed. Together, Michael and Carly made a final decision. Willow would not be allowed to see Wiley or Amelia, not now, and maybe not ever again. Michael explained that he had once believed in co-parenting with respect and maturity, but now he feared for his children's emotional well-being. He worried that Willow's behavior could confuse or harm them. He feared her instability, her secrecy, and her emotional breakdowns. Most of all, he feared what might happen if she got close to them again and tried to manipulate them, just as she had with Sasha and Daisy. Carly agreed completely. She told Michael that sometimes protecting your family meant cutting out the people who once felt like family. And that's exactly what they planned to do. Willow, unaware of the conversation, still holds out hope that she be allowed to reconnect with her children. But that hope may soon be crushed. Once Michael and Carly put their decision into action, Willow will be formally served with legal documentation restricting her visitation rights. With Michael prepared to file for sole physical and legal custody, and Carly standing by his side, the battle will shift into a new phase. One where Willow becomes the outsider, the woman who lost her husband, lost her second chance at love, and now may lose access to the very children who once gave her life purpose. The impact on the community is already rippling outward. Sasha's departure has left a void in the hearts of many. Her supporters are angry at what she endured. Drew is gaining sympathy as the man publicly humiliated but quietly seeking justice. Carly is taking charge once again, reclaiming her authority in family matters. And Michael, hardened by betrayal, is stepping fully into the role of protector. As for Willow, she stands alone. And in Port Charles, isolation is the most dangerous place to be. Next, we will delve into the brewing storm clouds over Port Charles' freshest romance between Marco Rios and Lucas Jones, where budding affection faces potential upheaval from returning faces and unresolved pasts that could test their connection in unexpected ways, starting with the ominous vibes swirling around this emerging duo. The latest ABC General Hospital spoilers are signaling that choppy waters might soon disrupt the harmonious glow surrounding Marco Rios and Lucas Jones, a pair whose sparks ignited amid chaos and now risk being extinguished by familiar shadows. Emerging from the harrowing ordeal of Marco's abduction, a tense saga involving shadowy kidnappers linked to underground dealings in Miami, their relationship has blossomed into something tender and promising, with stolen glances and heartfelt conversations hinting at a genuine bond. Yet, just as they're finding their footing, the dramatic resurgence of Britt Western on the scene has ignited fervent chatter among fans, many of whom are convinced that her loyal accomplice, Brad Cooper, can't be far behind, ready to stir the pot. To inject a creative spin, imagine Marco confiding in Lucas about a hidden scar from his kidnapping, a physical reminder of his vulnerability that draws them closer. Only for whispers of Brad's possible comeback to introduce doubts, perhaps through anonymous texts hinting at unfinished business. This setup not only underscores the fragility of new love in a town like Port Charles, rife with exes and secrets, but also teases how Britt's influence could act as a catalyst, pulling strings from afar and forcing Lucas to confront emotions he thought were buried. All while Marco's own mysterious background adds an extra layer of intrigue to their budding story. Shifting our spotlight to the enigmatic newcomer, let's unpack who Marco Rios truly is, a character whose arrival has injected fresh energy into the General Hospital tapestry. Portrayed by the talented Adrian Anchondo, who made his debut on March 13, 2025. Marco brings a resume packed with roles in high-stakes shows like NCIS Los Angeles, where he tackled intense interrogations, The Rookie with its pulse-bounding police pursuits, and FBI Most Wanted, chasing down an elusive fugitive experience that lent authenticity to his portrayal of a sharp-witted lawyer navigating Port Charles' legal minefields. Their meet-cute unfolded in the vibrant chaos of Miami, where Marco stumbled upon Lucas' misplaced credit card, leading to an impromptu drink that evolved into a deep dive into Lucas' sorrowful history with his ex, Brad. The night took a humorous yet revealing turn when Lucas, overwhelmed by his tales of heartbreak, ended up in Marco's hotel room not for a passionate encounter, but a messy episode of illness that left Marco's belongings in disarray, forging an unlikely connection through vulnerability and laughter. Fast forward to Marco's professional pivot, as he auditions for a spot at the prestigious law firm helmed by powerhouses Diane Miller and Alexis Davis. A move that serendipitously reunites him with Lucas in the heart of Port Charles. Inventing a novel detail, perhaps Marco carries a lucky charm from his Miami days engraved keychain from that fateful night which he gifts to Lucas as a symbol of their serendipitous start, subtly hinting at deeper layers to his character, like a family legacy in law that mirrors Alexis' own tenacious spirit, setting the stage for Larco to deepen their ties amid the city's relentless drama. Now, turning our attention to the figure looming large in Lucas' rearview mirror. Brad Cooper emerges as a complex anti-hero whose tangled history with Lucas continues to cast long shadows over any new beginnings. As Lucas' former husband, Brad's legacy is a tapestry woven with nefarious actions that ultimately doomed their marriage. From manipulative schemes involving switch babies and lab tampering that rocked the foundations of trust between them. Despite the litany of misdeeds crimes that ranged from evidence tampering to alliances with shady figures like Nell Benson, there's an undeniable undercurrent of profound emotion that once bound them. The kind of intense passion that doesn't fade easily, leaving embers that could reignite with the slightest spark. Professionally, Brad's tenure as a lab technician at General Hospital was a roller coaster. Fired initially for his transgressions, he clawed his way back with promises of reform, only to stumble into fresh controversies that tested his supposed redemption arc. Eventually, inheriting a windfall provided the escape hatch, prompting Brad to vanish from Port Charles without a backward glance, perhaps seeking solace in distant locales like Europe, where he could reinvent himself away from judgmental eyes. Adding an inventive element, suppose Brad has been quietly penning unsent letters to Lucas during his absence, chronicling his regrets and growth, which could surface dramatically if he returns, revealing a softer side honed by therapy sessions and self-reflection, thus complicating Lucas' feelings and challenging the narrative of Brad as irredeemable, all while highlighting how past loves in soap operas like General Hospital often resurface to disrupt the present. Finally, the burning question arises, could Brad make a triumphant or tumultuous pop back into the fold, especially with Britt Western's revival stirring the pot? As Britt's closest confidant and partner in mischief, Brad shared a dynamic friendship that amplified both their villainous tendencies and redeeming qualities. From scheming plots that backfired hilariously to moments of genuine support during Britt's health scares. It's tough to envision Britt reclaiming her spot in the hospital corridors without her trusty ally by her side, leading us to forecast that news of her survival will lure Brad back to Port Charles, perhaps via a frantic phone call or a viral social media post that pulls him from obscurity. The ripple effects on Lucas and Marco could be profound, as Carly Spencer recently reminded Lucas in a candid chat over coffee at Kelly's. His whirlwind infatuation with Marco feels rushed, given how little they truly know each other, a point that rings true amid hints that Marco harbors his own skeletons, like unresolved ties to a Miami crime family that could surface at the worst moment. This potential reunion might force Lucas to grapple with lingering affections for Brad, weighing the comfort of familiarity against the excitement of the unknown with Marco. To invent a fresh twist, envision Brad arriving with a piece offering a custom medical gadget symbolizing his lab roots that he presents to Lucas at the hospital, igniting jealousy in Marco and sparking a love triangle fueled by old grudges and new revelations. GH enthusiasts, weigh in. Are you rooting for a Brucas revival, or is Larco the pairing that deserves to thrive? Next, we will investigate the intriguing timing behind Dr. Liesl Obrecht's comeback to Port Charles, A move that's sparking endless questions amid shocking revelations about her daughter Britt Westburn and shadowy WSB connections that could upend everything in this bustling soap opera haven. Kicking things off with the curious circumstances surrounding her reappearance, Dr. Liesl Obrecht's sudden return to the familiar streets of Port Charles arrives at a moment laden with perfect dramatic irony, stirring up a whirlwind of speculation among devoted viewers. Portrayed with fierce intensity by Kathleen Gotti, Liesl bid farewell to the show on December 12, 2023, vanishing from the scene a mere 11 months following the heartbreaking presumed passing of her beloved daughter, Dr. Britt Westburn, an event that left the Obrecht family shattered and fans in mourning. Her exit painted a picture of a woman consumed by grief, perhaps retreating to distant European locales to grapple with the loss. Away from the hospital corridors that echoed with memories of Britt's vibrant presence. Now, as whispers of her comeback circulate, it feels like more than coincidental must, as if invisible threads are pulling her back just when the narrative demands it. To infuse a creative twist, envision Liesl arriving via a discreet late-night flight, clutching a worn locket containing a photo of Britt from happier times. A talisman that hints at unresolved emotions and perhaps secret communications during her absence, setting the stage for emotional reunions that could either heal old wounds or ignite fresh conflict in a town where family bonds are as fragile as they are fierce. Adding to the excitement, recent ABC General Hospital comings and goings have delivered a double dose of thrill. First confirming the much-anticipated return of Kelly Thibault as the irrepressible Britt Westburn, and then surprising everyone with Liesl's unexpected inclusion in the mix. While spoilers had teased Britt's revival, promising a storyline packed with twists that would resurrect her from the grave of fan assumptions, the bonus of seeing Liesl stride back into Port Charles feels like an expertly timed gift to longtime watchers. Imagine the buzz in the Quartermain mansion or the Metro Court lobby as news spreads, with characters like Nina Reeves or Sonny Corinthos exchanging knowing glances, pondering the ripple effects on their own tangled lives. This dual comeback not only revives the dynamic mother-daughter duo known for their sharp wit and unbreakable loyalty, but also amplifies the emotional stakes, reminding us of past arcs where Liesl's protective ferocity clashed with Britt's independent spirit. Inventing a fresh element, suppose Liesl's return includes a mysterious briefcase filled with encrypted documents from her travels, artifacts that could link to Britt's hidden activities and provide clues for allies like Anna Devane, thereby weaving Liesl deeper into the unfolding mystery and highlighting how her absence has only heightened her enigmatic aura in the eyes of Port Charles residents. Yet, this resurgence prompts a flurry of probing questions that dig at the heart of the timing, chief among them being, why choose this precise moment to re-emerge? Especially as Britt bursts forth from what was believed to be an irreversible demise, stepping back into the realm of the living with secrets in tow. Liesl's decision to return now, aligning so neatly with her daughter's dramatic revival, feels orchestrated, as if she's been waiting in the wings for the right cue to reclaim her place amid the chaos. Picture her sweeping into General Hospital with her signature authoritative poise, her German accent cutting through the chatter as she demands updates on recent events, all while her eyes betray a flicker of hidden knowledge. This synchronicity raises eyebrows, suggesting perhaps a coordinated effort or unspoken signals that have kept her informed from afar. To add inventive depth, maybe Liesl has been monitoring Port Charles through a network of discreet informants, like a former WSB contact who fed her intel on Britt's status, allowing her to time her arrival for maximum impact and positioning her as a pivotal player in whatever covert game is afoot. All while underscoring the theme of maternal instinct transcending even the barriers of presumed death. Delving into the swirling rumors, it's whispered that Liesl Obrecht harbors far more insights than she's shared with even her most trusted allies, potentially holding cards close to her chest about Britt's survival and the larger forces at play. As the offspring of the notorious Caesar Faison, Liesl's life has long been intertwined with the shadowy operations of the World Security Bureau, a global entity rife with espionage and high-stakes intrigue that has shaped her worldview and survival tactics. Britt, inheriting this legacy, is equally versed in the WSB's labyrinthine ways, having navigated its dangers alongside her mother's fierce guidance in past storylines filled with betrayals and narrow escapes. The current plot thickens with Anna Devane's involvement, her seasoned spy background screaming of WSB fingerprints all over this resurrection tale. Adding a novel layer, envision Liesl possessing a hidden WSB dossier tucked away in her belongings, detailing coded messages from Britt during her death, which could explain her composed demeanor upon return and hint at a mother-daughter pact forged in secrecy, thereby enriching the narrative with layers of deception that echo Faison's manipulative legacy and draw Anna deeper into the fray as she unravels the threads. This week's previews on ABC General Hospital ramp up the tension, revealing that Britt orchestrated her own demise as part of a larger scheme, while Anna Devane and Jason Morgan launch a determined quest to track her down, their efforts promising confrontations and discoveries that could alter alliances forever. Clearly immersed in some undercover mission perhaps tied to dismantling remnants of Faison's empire or exposing corrupt WSB elements, Britt's choice to fake her death demanded immense sacrifice, questioning if the endgame justifies abandoning her entire existence. She walked away from cherished friendships, like her bond with Brad Cooper, a stellar career ascending to co-chief of staff at General Hospital with its life-saving triumphs, and above all, her devoted mother Liesl, whose grief-stricken departure now seems suspiciously timed. To invent an additional facet, suppose Britt left behind encrypted video message for Liesl, discovered only upon her return, outlining the mission's perils and expressing regret for the pain caused, which fuels Liesl's resolve to aid in the search and highlights the profound costs of such operations. From lost professional accolades to strained personal ties in a world where duty often trumps desire. Pondering the what-ifs, speculation abounds that Britt didn't entirely sever ties with her mother, raising the possibility that Liesl has been aware of her daughter's survival from the outset. A twist that would fit the soap's history of outlandish yet compelling deceptions. If true, it would mean Liesl endured public mourning and isolation while secretly supporting Britt's endeavor, perhaps through clandestine meetings or coded communications that preserve their unbreakable bond amid the facade. Crazier scenarios have unfolded in Port Charles, from faked identities to resurrected villains, making this theory all the more plausible. Inventing a creative detail, imagine Liesl flashing back to a covert rendezvous in a foggy European cafe, where Britt, in disguise, briefed her on the plan, exchanging heartfelt promises that now come full circle with their dual returns, emphasizing themes of sacrifice and loyalty that define their relationship. One undeniable fact anchors these rumors. WSB agent Jack Brennan is fully aware that Dr. Britt Western lives, a knowledge that positions him as a key figure in the unfolding drama and hints at broader agency involvement. As the charismatic yet enigmatic operative, Brennan's insight, perhaps gleaned from intercepted intelligence or direct encounters, could serve as the linchpin connecting Liesl's return to Britt's mission, potentially drawing him into alliances with Anna and Jason or sparking rivalries that expose hidden agendas. This certainty adds a layer of intrigue, suggesting Brennan might hold leverage over the Obrechts, influencing their next moves in a high-stakes game where information is power. There you have a captivating dive into Liesl Obrecht's timely return and the mystery surrounding Britt's revival that's sure to keep General Hospital fans on the edge. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates, and share your wildest theories in the comments.